12 worst states to live in America. Let's face it, Americans have felt particularly stressed out during the past few years. Human rights are being violated, there's an increase in COVID cases, and earnings are simply not keeping up with inflation. A study by CNBC that considers elements like environmental quality, crime rates, access to health care, and the inclusiveness of state laws in areas like protections against discrimination and voting rights determine that a select few states are the worst places to live in the U.S. For these states, the struggle is particularly acute. Here are the 12 worst states to live in America. Number 12. Arkansas. Arkansas is one of the worst states to live in, mostly because of healthcare issues and crime rates. Arkansas has some of the lowest access to healthcare in the nation, particularly dental care. Residents visit the dentist the least frequently, and 12.9% say they forgo medical care because it is too expensive. The state also has the second highest rates of cardiovascular disease and cigarette usage in the country. Out of every 100,000 individuals, 586 are incarcerated in Arkansas, which has the fourth highest incarceration rate. Additionally, the state has the fourth highest rate of violent crime. The state's high crime rates may be attributed to high rates of poverty and economic hardship combined with low levels of educational attainment. Number 11. Kentucky. Despite the fact that the state exceeds the nation in terms of indicators related to crime, infrastructure, and opportunity, its financial instability and healthcare issues overshadow some of those advantages. Due in part to the state's $1.8 billion deficit in 2021, the state has one of the lowest degrees of fiscal stability. Kentucky is ranked among the states having the greatest rates of poverty by WalletHub. In terms of several health indicators, including low rates of childhood immunizations and high rates of avoidable hospitalization, Kentucky lags behind the rest of the country. But, according to America's Health Rankings, many of the state's healthcare issues are related to residents' habits. Number 10. Nevada. According to the poll, Nevada is among the worst states in America for raising children. Nevada has an appallingly low number of childcare facilities with just 400 licensed daycare centers serving more than 3 million people. Additionally, the state's air quality is exceedingly poor, especially in Las Vegas. Every year, there are more than 3 weeks of high ozone levels in the casino town. It's not all horrible, though. Voting rights and inclusivity are only two of Nevada's positive attributes. Number 9. Tennessee. In the survey's economic categories, Tennessee did quite well. The volunteer states are getting a lot of new people as a result, but they might not feel very welcome. Tennessee's quality of life rankings suffered because of its inclusiveness problems. The state also faces challenges related to its high crime rate, but at least the childcare options are good and the air is clean. Number 8. Indiana. If you want to stay safe from crime, Indiana is an excellent place to live. The state received high marks for having a low crime rate. But avoid becoming sick or having children in Indiana. When it comes to healthcare and childcare, Indiana is among the worst states in the nation. Number 7. New Mexico. When you consider crime statistics in particular, the land of enchantment doesn't appear all that magical. The second highest rate of violent crimes in the nation occurs in New Mexico. The crime rate in New Mexico is so high, according to State Governor 𝗔𝗓𝐓𝐿 𝐕𝐈𝐃𝐄𝐎, that it is driving away potential employees. In addition, there are minimal healthcare options and poor air quality in the arid deserts. However, New Mexico did receive high marks for its voting rights, so at least there's something. The public schools in New Mexico were also ranked as the worst in the nation by the Ed Week Research Center, and the state's educational system is last in the nation. The nation's lowest fourth-grade reading proficiency rates are in this state. In New Mexico, only 75% of students complete high school, which is significantly less than the 85.8% national average. With a 17% poverty rate, the state has poor opportunity indicators. The greatest rate of childhood poverty in the nation is 26% of children who live at or below the poverty line. Number 6. Louisiana. The first state on the list to have a daily quality of life score below 100 was Louisiana. The resources are beneficial for health, and Louisianans need them. The residents of the Pelican State struggle with high cholesterol and early death, making it the unhealthiest state in the Union. It also has one of the highest rates of violent crime in the nation. Louisiana also has some of the worst opportunities and educational systems in the country. With a poverty rate of 19%, the state has one of the worst rates of food insecurity. Both school spending and performance indicators for reading and math in grades 4 and 8 are the lowest in the country. Number 5. Missouri. Missouri seems like a miserable state, at least in terms of voting rights. For the recent spate of contentious laws that the news outlets believe to be so harmful to voting rights, CNBC docked Missouri a significant number of points. Missouri also has a high rate of crime. However, there is no denying that childcare services are accessible. Number 4. South Carolina. In South Carolina, illness is something you should carefully avoid. When it comes to healthcare resources, the state is among the lowest in the report. One of the lowest ratios in the nation, South Carolina only has 2.19 hospital beds per 1,000 population. You might consider relocating to North Carolina, which received the survey's highest overall score, even if you factor in the state's issues with voting and crime. The level of violent crime in the state is among the highest. Despite a significant decline in 20 years prior, the rates of murder and severe assault have been steadily rising since 2016. Number 3. Oklahoma. The Oklahomans are not in good health. The state has one of the largest percentages of adults without health insurance in the nation, and they are among the least likely Americans to consume fruits or vegetables. Since Oklahoma has, to put it mildly, inadequate healthcare resources, the insurance wouldn't really help them much. In Oklahoma, voting rights and minority rights are also problematic. The number of violent crimes has increased in Oklahoma, which has the 16th highest murder rate in the nation. In addition, the state has the second highest incarceration rate in the country, with 639 of every 100,000 residents being locked up. Number 2. Texas. When it comes to drawing in workers, Texas ranks second best in the nation. The employees, however, don't have many things to look forward to outside their jobs. The state has the highest percentage of uninsured persons in the nation and struggles with extremely inadequate childcare and healthcare options. The Lone Star State has limited safeguards against discrimination, but Texas's advantages are none under the heading of quality of life. On none of the metrics, the state had a rating in the top 50%. Number 1. Arizona. Texas does have one advantage, at least it's not Arizona. Natural beauty is present in the Grand Canyon state, but that is the extent of its advantages. Arizona is the worst state in America to live in due to a number of factors, including the high crime rate, poor desert air quality, not to mention the heat, overwork and inadequate healthcare, and other factors. Finding a cheap home is becoming increasingly challenging. Even if the pandemic-era employment has been replaced, the cost of so many necessities is becoming challenging for people with low to moderate incomes. People are being priced out of the market by rising house ownership expenses. However, the state does have a vibrant cultural and recreational scene. Let's say Arizonans need to discover some ways to escape their suffering.